I really started to learn about gun violence, about the politics involved, about how important words and phrases are when discussing the issue, about strategies for speaking with someone who might have opposing views, and about how we can actually create change. I was now officially part of the movement. Tragically, it was not many months later that Fred Guttenberg joined the club. I'll never forget the day of the Parkland school shooting. Valentine's Day, 2018. I was sitting in a Portland hotel room getting ready for a game that night when the news came of the horrific shooting that took 17 lives and left so many more shattered. I turned on the TV wanting to know what was happening, crying at the scenes, and knowing what so many families were about to feel when they heard the unimaginable news, just like I did in 1984. Their lives would never be the same. Over the ensuing months, I watched as so many survivors stood up and courageously expressed their loss, anger, and pain. From the Parkland students who formed March for Our Lives to parents like Manuel Oliver and Fred Guttenberg, who powerfully stood up to the gun lobby and called out those responsible for our country's inaction, I watched as the club grew. It was excruciating yet inspiring, hopeless yet also hopeful. I knew that more mass shootings would follow, that more innocent people would lose their lives, and that more survivors would suffer. But seeing Fred's courage in the face of such devastating loss gave me hope. In Find the Helpers, Fred's book about becoming a leading voice in gun violence prevention in the wake of losing his beautiful and ebullient daughter Jaime, he shares that his main identity is that of a dad. Dad to his son Jesse, and still and always dad to his Jaime. It is this identity that fuels and spurs his activism, even while carrying his grief every day, like myself and every other survivor. Fred's powerful voice and his ability to educate the world and change our laws would not have been possible without Fred finding his helpers. Countless individuals across the country, activists and civic leaders, homemakers and students, politicians, pundits, artists, and changemakers have also lifted their voices and lifted Fred in the movement to make real change. In American Carnage, Fred joins renowned author Thomas Gabor to give us the natural follow-up to Find the Helpers, as well as Tom's books Carnage and Enough, by laying out some of the most dangerous and distorted lies manufactured by the gun industry. The industry has used these lies to stop us from taking action collectively. By breaking down these lies with a barrage of truth, facts, and data, as has been so capably done in American Carnage, the hope is that we can finally have the factual conversations necessary to end gun violence in our country. For too many of us, the issue of firearms and the pointed accusations and rhetoric that swirl around it feels too political. But in order to save lives, potentially those of your own loved ones, discussing these issues with your friends and family is a crucial step toward creating real change. And learning about the issues will make those discussions much more productive. So, where can you start? It's simple. Read this book. Fred and I, as survivors, as parents, and as Americans who want this country to live up to its promise, ask you to spend some time educating yourself about why the regulation of firearms matters. Question efforts that rewrite our history of strong regulation by those seeking to make a profit at any cost, and consider how you can talk about the change needed to save lives in a thoughtful, direct, and impactful manner that connects with anyone, whether they own guns or not. This book will give you the tools and confidence to go forward and be the best advocate for yourself, your family, and your community that you can be. It is my belief that America can and will create the changes necessary to our gun laws to save the lives of its citizens. 90% of Americans, regardless of political leaning, support universal background checks. 70% of NRA members believe in them. The majority of us also believe that no citizen